So the Raiders have been really busy this offseason, signing 11 players in free agency, 6 players on defense, and 5 players on offense. I can dig that, sucker. And while there's so many Raider fans out there complaining, why didn't we get this player? Why didn't we get that player? Just be happy that the team didn't go out and make a stupid ass logo just like this. Damn. Whoever made that logo definitely got the Rona. Oh, wait. Nope. Hey, relax. I was just coughing. Ain't nothing serious over here. Now, according to Over the Cap, No Cap, Get the Strap, Raiders have approximately $6.4 million left to spend, and I kind of doubt that they'll go out and spend it lavishly. They'll probably go and get some more veteran pieces, maybe on a 1 or 2 year deal worth like $1 million. Unless they get rid of Gabe, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. That would definitely clear up $9.6 million of cap space, but time will tell. We'll see if we actually let him go or not. But for now, even if the Raiders do not sign any more big names, which I highly doubt they would because they probably can't even afford them, I believe it's been a solid free agency season for the Silver and Black. Now, with that being said, Raider Nation, let's go over all the signings as of today and grade the out of them.
And you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Okay, before I get started with the rest of this list, breaking news came out in the middle of me editing this video. The Raiders went out to Dallas again to bring another defensive player, defensive tackle Daniel Ross, to the Las Vegas Raiders. I swear, if we pick up another player from the Cowboys, you're probably going to call us the Las Vegas Cowboys. Doesn't really have a ring to it, but jokes aside, Ross's agent announced the move not too long ago on Twitter. That's why I'm coming to you guys and letting you guys know about this news. Ross is just 27 years old and he began his career in Canada, spent some time on the practice squad in Houston, Detroit, and Kansas City before joining the Dallas Cowboys in 2017. Ross had 19 tackles and 2 sacks in 16 games for Dallas in the 2017-2018 season before spending last season on the injury reserve with a shoulder injury. Last November, Ross was arrested for possession of marijuana and carrying a weapon, and now it looks like he's trying to make a comeback in the 2020 season and coming to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I believe this is like all the other moves that we basically signed in free agency. He's more of a depth piece, another addition to the defensive line. You bring him in and you pair him up with his former teammate Malik Collins, who we already picked up in free agency, and see where he goes from there. His contract details haven't come out yet, but I believe this is just another solid signing for the Raiders. My free agency grade that I would give Daniel Ross on this team would be a C. So for the first move of free agency, the Raiders went and got an underrated linebacker in Nick Wakowicz from the Chicago Bears, only 26 years old. He signed a 3-year, $21 million contract with $13.5 million guaranteed. Now, with the contract like that, I believe that he'll come in and be a really important piece on this defense. I believe, honestly, he was the most underrated signing of the NFL free agency for this team, or might I say for the whole NFL. This guy was a fan favorite among a lot of Bears fans, and when I was on Twitter and on Instagram, I seen a lot of Bears fans that were really mad that the Bears didn't re-sign him. And when you see fans act like that, then you know we got a great player in Nick Wakowicz. Last year, he came in for an injured Danny Trevathan in Week 11 and balled out. He tallied 76 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 interception. He's a solid tackler and is really solid in coverage, especially in a division like the AFC West with a lot of great tight ends and slot receivers. This was a solid move for the Raiders to acquire a linebacker just like this. Like I said earlier, he's still 26 years old. He's a young linebacker and will most likely start in the middle. This is definitely a really solid move for the Raiders to start off free agency. I like this move, and I know a lot of Raider fans may not have known him before today or before we signed him, but trust me, after the 2020 season, the nation will definitely love him. Overall, I love this move. Solid move to add to the linebacker core that we were already thin at. This move, I would give the Raiders a B+. Now with, I would say, my most favorite acquisition of free agency. I mean, I could be a little bit biased here, but it would have to be quarterback Marcus Mariota. He signed a 2-year contract worth $17.6 million with $7.5 million guaranteed. Mariota is a solid dual threat quarterback that can back up Derek Carr and maybe compete for a starting position. He does still have a lot of upside, and I know Mayock loved Mariota coming out of the draft in 2015. Even though he stated that this is Derek's team, I still believe he will have a chance to start, especially if Derek Carr doesn't come out and start winning games. I still do believe in Derek Carr, and I believe that this move is perfect for him as well. And I know you guys are probably wondering, why would this move be good for Derek Carr? Because I believe it'll light a fire under Derek Carr to come out and want to prove himself as the starting quarterback for the Raiders. Over the years, we haven't seen competition at the quarterback position, especially somebody that could come in and actually threaten Derek Carr for the starting position. This contract is perfect for Mariota and the Raiders, because if he was to come in and start, then he'd get paid like a starting quarterback. If not, then they could easily cut ties with him next year if they do not want to bring him back. If you really look at the bigger picture, the best quarterback will be on the field, whether it's Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota. Mariota can come and make an extra $37 million in incentives if he comes in and plays and has success. That's why I really love this move, because at the end of the day, this is a win-win for the Raiders. It's either you get the best out of Derek Carr or you get the best out of Marcus Mariota. My free agent grade for Marcus Mariota is an A. A huge signing for the Raiders was getting linebacker Cory Littleton from the Rams. He signed a 3-year, $35 million contract with $22 million guaranteed. Most likely, this is the biggest free agent move for the Raiders this offseason. The number 1 linebacker in free agency, Littleton is still in his prime, just 26 years old, and he signed for a great deal. He's a do-it-all linebacker that can cover and make plays. In the last 3 seasons, Littleton tallied 6 interceptions, and the Raiders linebackers in the last 3 seasons have only tallied 5. That goes to show you how great of a player Littleton is in coverage. He comes in and plays with his former teammate LaMarcus Joyner. Now, after signing Littleton and Wakowicz, we've already upgraded our linebacker position tremendously. This is a great move for the Raiders, especially for the price that we signed him for. My free agency grade for Cory Littleton is an A+. Now, with the first most surprising move of the free agency for the Raiders would be signing tight end Jason Witten. He signed a 1-year, $4 million contract with $3.5 million guaranteed. This move did surprise a lot of Raider fans, as well as me, but after sitting back and looking at the big picture, I would say this is a solid veteran move. Last year, he had 4 touchdowns, and that's more than what Waller had with only 3. And I believe he'll come in as a mentor for tight end Foster Moreau. He provides a real red zone threat at the tight end position, which Foster Moreau was for us last year. And he's also solid in run blocking. He may not be the player he was before, but he provides veteran depth at an already strong position. My free agency grade for Jason Witten is a C+. Another defensive signing for the Raiders was bringing in defensive tackle Malik Collins. He signed a 1-year, $6 million contract with $5.75 million guaranteed. Now, he is still a young and talented player with a lot of upside. He adds a lot of depth to this interior defensive line that struggled last year to apply pressure to the quarterback. Now, Collins is a strong pass rusher. He racked up 20 total tackles last year and 4 sacks. He will be joining his former defensive coordinator Rod Marinelli in Las Vegas. I was surprised that he did sign for only a 1-year prove-it deal, but considering his age and production over the years, this is an excellent value for the price. My free agency grade for Malik Collins is a B+. The Raiders also snag another Cowboy, signing safety Jeff Heath to a 2-year, $6 million contract with $2.85 million guaranteed. He becomes the 3rd Cowboy in a row joining the Las Vegas Raiders. Heath, most known as the player to make Derek Carr fumble in the end zone, will be a big contribution on special teams for the Raiders. Heath can make a lot of tackles in the open field. Though he may struggle in coverage, his physicality makes up for it. Heath is basically coming in to replace Carl Joseph, and no, he's not like Erik Harris. He plays much more in the box and can be used as an extra linebacker. I do believe that this is another solid signing for the Raiders to add more depth at a position of need. My free agency grade for Jeff Heath is a C. Staying on the defensive side, the Raiders go out and sign outside linebacker Carl Nassib to a 3-year, $25 million contract with $17 million guaranteed. Now, Nassib, alongside Wakowicz, is another underrated signing for the Raiders and one that I really love. He's a guy that can come in and play with his hands in the dirt or standing up depending on the defense, but he'll most likely play on the edge in the Raiders 4-3 defense. Nassib is a really solid run defender, last year having 8 tackles for loss, and he can also get to the quarterback, having 6 sacks last season. Nassib is a great addition to this team and can be a rotational piece for guys like Cleveland Farrell, Max Crosby, Arden Key, and the list goes on. I definitely love this move for the Raiders because you add another pass rusher that could get to the quarterback, and I believe the Raiders are only going to go up from here. And Carl Nassib, great addition to the team. My free agency grade for Nassib is an A-. As you guys know, one of the positions the Raiders really needed an upgrade in was cornerback. And who did the Raiders go out and get? They went out and got cornerback Eli Apple, signed him to a 1-year, $6 million fully guaranteed contract. Now, Apple is still a young cornerback that is mostly a depth chart piece for this team and might have a chance to start alongside of Trayvon Mullen if the Raiders don't go out and draft a cornerback, but I do still believe the Raiders will. A lot of Raider fans were not really happy with this signing, but for me, I thought it was okay signing. It was a solid signing. It wasn't a big signing for the Raiders, but it is a low, and I mean a low risk, somewhat high reward if the Raiders could get something out of him. I just look back at a guy like David Amerson, who wasn't given a chance, a former 2nd round pick from the Redskins, and came to the Raiders and balled out and had a starting position for the team for just a couple years. But if Eli Apple can come in and make plays and be that type of player for this team, then that'll be a solid win for the Raiders in free agency. But for now, we can only look at what he's done in the past and hope for the best from Eli Apple. My free agency grade for Apple is a C. Now, with one of the low tier signings of free agency, the Raiders went out and got offensive lineman Erik Kush. Now, the contracts to his deal has not come out yet, but he's another signing to add more depth to this team. This is his 8th team of his career. He's a big offensive lineman that can play many positions on the offensive line. He might not start, but if he is given the chance to, then he will. His last name is probably his biggest contribution for the Raider Nation. I mean, for now, until he can actually make a name for himself on the field. Overall, my free agency grade for Erik Kush is a C. Now, it surprises me that the Raiders would go out and get a wide receiver this late in free agency. Maybe they're probably thinking about drafting one, but they do go out and sign wide receiver Nelson Aguilar to a 1-year, $1 million contract with $887,000 guaranteed. The Raiders literally paid Aguilar close to nothing to bring him to the team. That's why I really like this move, honestly. In a position of need, this is the only receiver that the Raiders have signed so far in free agency. I mean, he is still young and he showed flashes of being good, having back-to-back seasons with over 60 catches and 700 yards in 2017 and 2018. I do like this move, and it's another depth chart piece to add to this team. He does struggle with drops, but Amari Cooper did too, and he signed for a $100 million contract. You compare that to Nelson Aguilar's only $1 million contract. Literally, we're getting a good deal for him. Aguilar will most likely back up Renfro in the slot, and I know a lot of Raider fans were really split on this move, but after seeing how much he really signed for, I believe it's a great move. A 1-year prove-it deal, low risk, high reward. I love this move overall, and just because of the price, I would give this free agency grade for Nelson Aguilar a B. Now, for the last signing of free agency, the Raiders went out and got tight end Niko Leary, another tight end in free agency following Jason Witten. Now, this was a really questionable move by the Raiders. I was wondering why they would go out and get another tight end. The only real answer to this move is that he'll just provide depth to the team at the tight end position. He's not really a receiver. He can be used more in the pass protection. But what does this mean for Derek Carrier? Would he be off the team? I don't know as of this moment, but he'll most likely be a cap body. Like I said earlier, I really don't understand this move, but Niko Leary is on the team and we just got to live with it for now. But my free agency grade for Niko Leary is a D. All right, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today on this video. If you guys have grades to these free agents, what would you guys grade it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button. It will go far away for this channel and I would greatly appreciate it. And if this is the first time you're watching this video and you're a Raider fan and you love Raider content, then please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this one. I will be coming out with a mock draft pretty soon, maybe Friday or Saturday, so look out for that. With that being said, this is your boy Simone Raider. Until the next video, your boy is Yow.